So let us bring on my very good friend, whistleblowing journalist, also the creator of Panquake, which we're going to talk about as well. Get some updates on what's going on with Panquake. Let us welcome to the show, Suzie Dawson.
Hi, Graham. Thanks so much for having me. Great to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. I know it's, you called me last week. We'll get to Panquake and Assange, but we want to talk about Annelise Garcia, who sadly was killed in a hit and run last Thursday in California, and which has just been heartbreaking for all of us that knew her in the indie media world. She was a pretty special person. And she had been working for Panquake, which she was great at. But you have set up a GoFundMe because why don't you explain the GoFundMe, and Kate is putting it in the chat. I'll put it up on the screen. So it's on our screen right here. How people can help support Annelise's family.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you're promoting that. Let's start at the beginning, because it was actually you that basically introduced Annelise and I. I had seen Annelise appear with Steph Zamorano and with our very own Taylor Hudak on the Annelise show, I think back in January of this year. And I remember thinking, wow, like, who is this super talented host? Because even though she had quite a small following, it was a relatively new channel, her super bubbly, engaging personality just came through from the first viewing. And I remember thinking, I literally thought to myself, like, this girl's going to be big. Like, this girl is going to gain a really big, significant following because she's just so engaging and just so, I would say, even exuberant in the way that she approached every topic, truly engaged with the content, truly engaged with the guests. And I remember being really impressed by her as a presenter, but I just thought of her as being like a YouTuber presenter, independent media person. I hadn't thought of her in the context of a potential employee for Panquake or Talk Liberation or anything like that, until we got to later on in the year and we started doing behind the scenes looks at Panquake for influencers. So a number of super cool friends of ours and high profile individuals and endorsers have had the opportunity now to actually get to look at Panquake, what the UI looks like, how the application functions, the capabilities of the application, and to really absorb it visually. And we invited Annelise, along with Graham Elwood, to be a part of one of those viewings. And Annelise came and she was just blown away by it. She was so enthusiastic about it, loved it, wanted it fast. And I got to talk more with her, and I got to talk about the business with her and the product and our team. And I realized this person is like really something special. And she was telling me a bit of her work history, and I realized that her work experience was perfectly in line with the types of needs that we had as an organization, and we were hiring at that time. And so I, off the cuff, offered her a job. And this is super unusual for me, to be honest with you, because I usually take like a really long period of time to get to really know someone, get to trust someone before I would ever consider bringing them on to be a part of my team. Most of the people who work with me have worked with me for like long periods of time on multiple campaigns, multiple projects. But she was just so special, and I just recognized that in her straight away. And so I offered her the job, and I think within a week we had signed her up and contracted her to come to work for Panquake and Talk Liberation. And she just hit the ground running, Graham, like nothing I've ever seen. And I was really like just trying to give her a little bit of work and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so she could like get accustomed to what she was doing and get to know everyone. And she would just come back to me every single day. Done that, need some more. Done that, need some more. Give me some more. I want to try this. What about this? I could help you with that. And she, like, honest to God, like, I really consciously try not to like build dependencies on people, but she was so competent. She was so engaged and just brought 100% of herself every single day into every single task. and she would constantly go above and beyond. Like, I would give her a task and she would come back with it done like better than my wildest dreams, without me having had to tell her, oh, please fix this, please improve that, please do this. She would go the extra mile always without being asked. And what she would bring back to me was spectacular. And I always used to say to the team, the thing I love the most about Annelise, like from the perspective of being her manager, the thing I love the most is I never had to like go to her. I never had to be like, I wonder what Annelise is doing, or I need to follow up on this or that, because every single day, text from Annelise, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to be doing. Is there anything else I can be doing? Can I help you in any other way? She was, honest to God, she was like this every single day. She's so proactive. And like I actually shared after her passing, I shared the last message I received from her and the last voice memo. The last voice memo she sent me is just her giggling. It's her infectious giggle. And if you knew anything about Annelise, like, she had this laugh that you've got to hear it. If you go to Suzie 3D YouTube channel, which I barely ever post on, but I posted this little clip after she passed, and you listen to it, you can hear her laugh. And she had the type of laugh that you just can't not laugh with her. Like, it just makes everybody laugh. The way, it's not even a laugh, it's a giggle. She giggles, and it's just hilarious. So that was the last voice memo I got, was just of her laughing. And I think that was like, would have been not at all long, maybe hours before she died. And the last text message I got from her, the last instant message, was literally like, hey, I know you're really snowed under, working really hard at the moment, so please tell me, is there anything else I can do for you? I'm here and I want to help you in any way possible. And that was the last message I got from her. And that is so typical Annelise. Like, Annelise always somehow had more to give. And it's so rare to find a person like that. And it's so special to find a person like that, and to have had that person in your life. Like, I feel so grateful that I got to know her and that she was part of my team. But then you start to learn about her daily life, her personal life, and her family life. And once you learn about that, it just completely changes the dimensions, because not only was she like that with us, but she was spending every other hour of her day giving too. It turns out that Annelise was living with, she had, her surviving family members are her mother and her younger sister. Her younger sister is severely autistic. She can't speak. She's nonverbal. She's been nonverbal her whole life. She can't perform basic bodily functions for herself. She needed really hands-on, full-blown caregiving on a daily basis. Annelise was her full-time caregiver for her younger sister. And her mother has had cancer and has just been going through big courses of chemotherapy. And Annelise was the caregiver for her mother. So Annelise was getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning every day, caregiving for her sister until the early afternoon while her mum worked. Then her mum would come and take over the caregiving of the sister. And in the meantime, Annelise was taking her mother to the chemo appointments and sitting through the whole chemo course with her and supporting her mother through that. And then Annelise was coming to work for Panquake every early afternoon till evening. She'd work for Panquake and for Talk Liberation. For those of you that don't know, Talk Liberation is a tech and privacy focused publication that we have. It's talkliberation.substack.com. So Annelise was relationship manager for Panquake, which meant that she used to communicate with you, Graham, and all of our endorsers and the key business relationships we had. She was the person just sending information, receiving information, helping people, facilitating the relationship between the business and the people who we are associated with. And she also, maybe 3 weeks before she passed, she became the coordinator for our digital media team that produces Talk Liberation. So she was working with video producers and graphic designers and Taylor, our show host, and our various tech support staff. And she was coordinating the entire Talk Liberation project. So actually the most recent article that we just published a few days ago on Talk Liberation was the last publication that Annelise worked on for us. But every week she oversaw that entire project. And that just goes to show, like, you know, and so I think she worked for us for about 4 months, maybe 4.5 months. And in that space of time, she took over and was not even competently, but like more than competently managing like major areas of our business. And so it was just an absolutely enormous loss. And I really appreciate you raising the GoFundMe. Sean O'Brien, our Chief Security Officer, actually got together with Annelise's family, helped them to set that up, passed it over to them so they manage it, and they receive 100% of the funds from that GoFundMe. And so we have been trying to do as much as we can. We actually, after she passed, we cancelled all of our messaging on Panquake. I don't know if you noticed on the timelines, but we just pulled all of our promotional content, and we just replaced it 100% with promotional content about Annelise and supporting her family, because we don't feel right trying to sell a software product while they're suffering. And so we're really trying to raise those funds to support her family. Her family were completely reliant upon Annelise's income for medical expenses, living expenses, vehicle payment expenses, all sorts of expenses. She was their sole provider, and this has totally financially devastated them. And obviously we're doing everything we can to support them in all ways. But of course, we ourselves are reliant upon donations as well. So we're a crowd-funded project, a crowdsourced project. We don't have commercial backing, or we're not backed by corporations or governments or security agencies like many other major social media platforms are. So we're doing absolutely everything we can, but ultimately it's the wider community that we need to pull together to help to support this family. And my last message too on this front is please don't forget them week by week. It's really easy to like hear that Annelise passed last Thursday and to like do something on Friday, Saturday or Sunday and then feel like we've done something. But this family is going to experience the loss every single day for weeks and months to come and years to come. And so I really want to push that support campaign for her long into the future until we know that that family is stabilized.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And I don't, this is just a question, I don't know if it can even be answered today, but just something to consider. I just popped into my head, Annelise's show was on Rockfin, so she was getting paid in their Ray token. So I don't know if Sean or someone has reached out to Rockfin, and I could help facilitate that to make sure that the crypto payments that she was getting and probably will continue to get are going to the family, which my guess is they wouldn't, the mom probably doesn't even know how to like convert Ray to Ethereum to cash and all that whole process. So that might be something we could try to figure out on how to get that taken care of. I don't know. Maybe it's a conversation for you and I and Sean to have with Martin from Rockfin at a later time to figure out, because that, is assuming is a potential. I mean, she's got content up there that people on Rockfin can tip anytime, day or night, 24/7. So that is something to maybe think about, because I just thought like there's like actually that's a revenue stream that
I appreciate you raising that, because I actually hadn't thought that far. So I really appreciate you raising that, and I'll pass it on to Sean and see what the two of you can organize.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've got, I know Martin, the head of and I let Martin know that Annelise had passed, and he was, obviously very sad about it. So I don't know what internal conversations they've had over there, but I like and trust Martin very, very much, and we can have a conversation to figure out. I don't know how that would work in terms of the whatever, she had a wallet set up, I'm assuming. I don't know. We'll have to figure out all the specifics on that. But since this isn't going to, this financial crisis with her mom and sister isn't going to go away anytime soon, we can take the time it's going to take to figure that out.
Cool. So, I appreciate any help with that.
Yeah.
And I know her family, I should just say her family have been so grateful, and they've expressed over and over again how much it means to them that people are stepping up as a community and supporting them. It's just, I think for them, it's like a gift from the heavens, because and I mean this is the fruits of Annelise, all the good deeds that she did in this world while she was here. The support that she's now receiving is a direct result of that. So this really is, it's Annelise that is bringing this about. But her family are so grateful and so thankful.
Yeah, she's a very special person. You know, I had her on this show. I think I was on her show. She did my game show. She was always bright, fun, energy. She was, you know, the first time I met her in person was literally last month. She came to Ron Placone and I's show at Flappers in Burbank. She was in the front row, big smile on her face. We met her afterwards. Ron and I both posted the picture of the three of us after the show. And my last text with her was coordinating this interview.
I know when I wanted to check the date and time, I went into my messages with Annelise, because every single time she did a booking for me, every week I would get this updated text message from her that says Susie's upcoming events, date, time, platform, link, and then she would have all the different time zones listed, like time zone for the interviewer, time zone for the guest, time zone for, like, she's so freaking organized, it's unreal. But when she came to see you and Ron and she met you guys, she was so excited. She actually sent me that photo, like right when you'd taken it. She sent it to me straight away. And she's like, I met them. I saw them. Look, you've got a photo with them. Like, she was so happy. Actually, that's the other thing I'd like to tell you. It's the greatest thing, actually. I was talking to her best friend of 12 years who is helping to support her family right now. And I said to her, you know, Annelise was so happy. Like, in the lead up to her passing, like she told me, she's like, I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I'm happy. And I said that to her best friend, and her best friend said, yes, this is the happiest that I'd seen her in years. She was very happy. She loved her life, loved what she was doing, loved the people she was working with. So that for me too is really gratifying to know that right up until her final moment, she really was very, very happy with her life.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're all, you know, we're all better for knowing her in one way or another than having her, you know, having her in our lives. We're all lucky we got to know her. So
it was really remarkable. Last weekend we had a full team meeting like we do every weekend, where all our staff are together and we talk through what we've done that week and what we're going to do next week. And this meeting, we just cancelled everything and we just all talked about Annelise together. And every single member of our team was sobbing. All of the women, all of the men, all of us were just sobbing because she's such an enormous loss. And to have one employee touch every single member of an organization to that extent that they're all just devastated, again, really says so much about how she was able to create authentic connections with everybody that she communicated with, and how she was able to have an impact on everybody that she communicated with and worked with. And to be honest, we all cried for days. I'm all cried out. I cried from Friday through Sunday nonstop. And I guess that all we really can do is take action to support those who are left behind. And so that's why donating to that GoFundMe, you really are helping to transform this situation for that family.
Yeah, that's great. So folks, you can see it right on the screen there on the YouTube and the Rockfin. That's a great way to help out. And you know, we'll have that for a while. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood, and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.